Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode here in NHL 22. So in last episode, we began the offseason with the draft and the re-sign stage. We did let go of a few players like Sebastian Aho and also long-term Arizona Coyote in Jacob Chikrin. So this team is going through a little bit of a retooling phase, but I feel like this offseason we're going to add some nice new pieces, and this team should be a team that could get back to the Cup finals again this coming season. So as you can see at the moment, I believe, let's see what we got here. Yeah, this is technically what we got for our roster right now is Geeky, Bentley, Daumo at least. Maybe Spalling even could be used instead of Daumo. And then Daumo could just be like a depth option, I don't really know. We could eventually maybe trade away some of these prospects because like some of them won't get a chance to actually track into our lineup that often. We also have Agostino, obviously, Shishkinov, and McGillis. And then we also have Michkov, Shelley, Kagorodov, and I think that's almost it. Unless there's some... Oh yeah, there's also a bunch of RFAs still. As you can see, we're still waiting to re-sign Bilesma, Redmond, McIntyre, Penner, and Udstorf. So those guys might be a little bit expensive, but hopefully they could get their asking prices down. And then we also have Korea to re-sign. So just a couple of RFAs to deal with, which is not too bad. And yeah, basically what we really need is, I'd say, probably another center, just because obviously having like a 78 and stuff like that below it isn't the best. So we'll probably end up picking up another center free agency. Defensively, I'd like to try and make a trade for Cale Makar, as I mentioned at the end of last episode, but at the moment I really don't know if we'll be able to afford him with the amount of RFAs we have and stuff like that. So I might have to wait till the start of the season to kind of make a move for that. And then goalie-wise, I don't know if we're going to bring in any goalies. We might just try and run Galiev in Korea just because they're low and cheap. And I know Galiev is a really good playoff goalie based on the last two seasons, if you guys remember, or last two playoff runs. He's just been a perfect playoff goalie, and I really hope that he can continue that this upcoming season. So anyways, before we get into free agency and starting up the season simulation, we got one comment to go over, and it is from Cody Legaspi. He says, I'd bring in Matthews, and it also has 2 thumbs up, so I don't know if he thumbed up his own comment or somebody else thumbed it up, but yeah, I think bringing in Austin Matthews would be probably pretty good for this team, just because of the fact we do need a top-line center to kind of replace Sebastian Aho. And yeah, he probably would fit perfectly with this because we could use Geeky as a second line center because he's actually listed as a second line forward. And then if Austin Matthews could kind of be bounced between the first and second, Bentley could be the perfect third line center like he was last season. And then if fourth line center wise, we'll probably end up running McGillis, but we could always run somebody like Daumo if we want to, or even a young Carl Spalling. So there is that. Let's get into free agency and see what else we could pick up, because I also, like I said, I want to trade for Cale Makar, but at the same time, I don't know if we're going to be able to afford him. Because Austin Matthews wants 11.875, and then all those RFAs might take up a decent chunk of the remaining $14 million. So I'll have to see first on those guys. But yeah, let's see Austin Matthews' stats right now. He doesn't fit any of our coaches' system really that well, but he's a good overall player. Last season, he had 76 points in Toronto. It only makes sense for him to kind of wrap up his career as a member of the Arizona Coyotes, I'd say. And last time he was in the playoffs, he was really good as well, so he could definitely help us out in terms of scoring in the postseason as well. Not that we have much problems, but imagine a top line of like literally Matthews, and then also Michkov and Agostino. Like that would just be probably a really good top line. So let's just give him what he exactly wants, because there's no other teams interested, I think. Yeah, there's no other teams interested in him, so his asking price could drop, but I don't want to take that risk. Let's just bump it up to $12 million on the dot, just to see if he'll accept that. And I think that's probably our big signing for this offseason. So what else do we need? I was thinking, like I said, to trade for Cale Makar, but we'd have to trade away somebody who has a bigger contract in order to free up the cap space is the only thing. And there's not really a lot of guys I'd like to trade away to fit that bill, just because Shelley's probably the one that's the most expensive. What is he wanting for next year already? He wants $9 million for next year, so he's thinking that he could get paid more money than 7.2, which is kind of ridiculous. But yeah, eventually Shelley could be on his way out. I don't really want to move him, but Kagorodov might want to be taking over his roster spot eventually, so we'll have to try and figure out about that. Shishkinov's also making a good amount of money, but Don't really want to trade him away. I just don't know how we could free up cap space to get all our RFAs back and trade for Cale Makar. We'll probably wait until all these guys accept before we try and bring in Cale Makar. I did offer a contract apparently to Bilesma at the end of the last episode, but I can't remember how much it was for. But these guys, all these four, hopefully they are all signing for relatively cheap. And then we can maybe still afford Cale Makar. So let's see if we get Austin Matthews. And yeah, like I said, I don't think we need any goalies just because I feel like I'm going to just run on the low 79 and 78s because I don't trust any goalie that's literally 83 and above. So let's advance the first 5 days and just see if we get Austin Matthews added to this team. He should come here because of the fact that we've made 3 straight Stanley Cup finals. There's no reason not for him to come back to Arizona. So let's see what happens. Bilesma is accepted. That's good to have Bilesma back. And will Matthews accept? Yes, he does. So Matthews is in Arizona. That is really awesome to see. We were debating trading for him, but we couldn't trade for him because of the amount of value and all that. But now we have Austin Matthews on the team. We only got $10 million in cap space. So the only way we get Cale Makar is if we free up some salary. And I think we still do need Cale Makar almost to an extent. Spalling has jumped up higher than Daumo, which is interesting. Who out of this team is expendable? Probably Shelley's the most expendable, but I don't want to move Shelley. You guys know how much I'm attached to Calvin Shelley. He's a very good secondary scorer. But then Kagorodov is also a really good secondary scorer. He's actually listed as a second line forward now as well. I don't want to move out Shelley though, but if I move out Shelley, we'll have the cap space to trade for Cale Makar. And our defense is definitely not that strong without somebody like Cale Makar, because if you look, we got Bilesma, Sasaki, Burkov, Hordachuk, and then Tukinen, who's apparently dropped off again down to a 78, probably because of morale, which is kind of weird, but he's going to get the Blender top 4, so it'll be fine. Jakumovs could be back in the minors or as a depth defenseman. I think Shelley might be the only one that I would probably have to part away with, just because our left side needs Shishkinov, McGillis. How much forwards do we actually have in general right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and then what about in the system? We got 12. Oh man, we have all these guys too. Yeah, we got way too much forwards almost on this team. I could move out Bentley hypothetically, but I don't really know if that's possible. Or I could move out somebody else that's signed like McGillis, only for up like $2 million though. How much was Cale Makar making out of curiosity? I could have probably just kept in the contract screen, but let's take a look at how much Cale Makar is making. Again, he is making 12,125. Okay, so 12,125. And we have 10,675, but most of it has to be still on our RFAs. So we should probably just wait until these RFAs accept fully, right? Because a lot of these guys, Redmond's expensive. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to get Makar unless I make a trade near the start of the season. So let's continue advance until all these RFAs start accepting, and we'll find out exactly how much cap space we have to try and trade for Cale Makar, because I don't think Colorado's going to trade him away until closer to the start of the season. But let's go another week, see if any of these RFAs are going to start accepting on our team, because I think we'd need a puck moving defenseman. And McIntyre's been tendered a qualifying offer, but we're going to match it, just 2 years at $19.35. That's a pretty cheap deal. And there we go, McIntyre is back. That's good news. I'd like to try and get some of these guys into the lineup, but we might have too much forwards that we might actually have to trade away somebody. Are these other RFAs getting close to accepting or what? Because I don't want any guys holding out. We only have 959 at cap space, RFAs. Redmond's probably the one that he was dropping his asking price actually a decent amount. Udstorf's probably cheap. Ooh, 3 years at 1.75. I actually kind of like that. You know, we're going to do that right away. And then Penner, what do you want? We'll just give you guys contracts because you guys are cheap. But Redmond's the one that's expensive right now. Korea, we'll give you what you want. Don't really care. It's just down to Redmond. I could trade away Redmond's rights because we got a lot of right wingers when you think about it. Because we got like Shishkinov. We got Shelly. We got that other Russian dude that I'm drawing a blank on. I think Kagorodov. So like we don't necessarily need somebody like Redmond if we keep Shelly around. But at the same time, we should probably find a way to free up that cap space, because I think we need a puck-moving defenseman, unless there's a better, cheaper option on the block, but I don't know if there is. But I want to find somebody that's going to be a good replacement for somebody like Chikrin now. So yeah, this off-season portion might take a bit, just because we need to find out if we could find a way to free up money for Cale Makar. You know what, I could trade Redmond's rights as part of the trade. But then who else am I trading away? Just because, like I said, we don't need Redmond. Like, look, he's behind Michkov, he's behind Shelly, he's behind Kagorodov, and then Udstorf needs to play. So, yeah, I think we got to trade away Redmond's rights as part of this deal. And then we need to find a way to free up some cap space. Maybe I shouldn't have signed Tukinen to 5.8. If I trade away, if I trade away Tukinen as part of this trade, and then we play Jakumovs instead, then we'll have enough cap space. So I think what we're going to do is try and trade away Tukinen in this trade for Cale Makar. As much as I'd like Tukinen, his morale's dropped off. He's not been getting as much ice time the last few years. I know we just literally re-signed him, but we are going to trade him away if we can. He might not have a lot of value. I know he does have some value. That's good. So we'll trade away him. And then we'll also trade away the rights to Redmond as part of this trade, just because Redmond's not going to get a better opportunity with this team. Kagorodov's already taken a big leap, and I'd like to keep Shelly around. So we're going to throw in Redmond into this deal. And there's also Yoshimura in the system, so go to Colorado. They'll be over the salary cap, but that's okay because we're going to be taking back Cale Makar. And that's league approved. Okay, so that would put us just under the max salary cap by less than $1 million, but that's okay. And they might want a pick involved in this, but we'll see if this goes through on its own. So Tukinen and Redmond for Cale Makar. That's rejected. Okay, so we got to throw in ourselves a draft pick, which I'm okay with, obviously, because this team should be pretty good with the addition of Cale Makar and also Austin Matthews. Like, it's a really big offseason for us. 3rd round pick. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. That's accepted. So there's our trade. A pretty big one, I'd say, but we are just barely in the cap situation. But now we have a puck-moving defenseman. Sure, we just got rid of Tukinen, but now you see our defensive core. We got Makar, we got Bilesma, Sasaki, Burkov, Hordichuk, and Jankumovs. And then goalie-wise, obviously, it's the weakest point on this team, but I do trust Galiev more than I would have trusted somebody like Beauregard. So, and we got Michkov, Shelly, Kagorodov, Usorf, Agostino, Shishkinov, McGillis, McIntyre, and then Matthews, Geeky, Bentley, and Penner, and then Spalling could even be in the lineup, or Dalmau. So the 4th line is kind of a toss-up at this point, but we got a really good team, I think, ahead of us this season. It's just all about if this team can actually get back to that Cup Finals again, or are we going to be just randomly a first-round exit of a team, which I hope isn't the case. But I wonder what Jacob Chikrin's going to sign in free agency. It'd be funny if he went to like the Leafs just because we brought in Austin Matthews, but I don't know where he's gonna go. I don't know why these teams are trying to get make trades with me for like McGillis and stuff like that. It's like, I'm trying to contend here. I need these roster players right now. Eventually we might have to trade away some guys though. Like if Shelly demands $9 million, I might have to move him out because Kagorodov might be better. Okay, yeah, you could sign me some players for my AHL because apparently I didn't sign enough players for the AHL affiliate. That's okay. Let's go to edit line, see what we got here. Jeez, the good chemistry, I like that. I'd like to get Penner into the lineup, but Spalling is really outgrowing him almost. 78 on faceoffs. 82. Who's the better fit for that 4th line? Is it Spalling or is it Penner? Damon's definitely going to be depth. They have the same kind of fit. Carry dump bias is different. Let's see, what about you? Okay, so technically Spalling is the worst of the two. So we'll take Spalling out, unfortunately. And we'll throw Penner in. If for some reason somebody's not performing that well, we could always turn to Spalling or down low. And then we will move Shelly up into the top 6, I think. Yep, Shelly obviously has to be in the top 6. We'll move Shishkinov up as well. Wow, Kagerodov on the 3rd line now. I might have to put him on the 1st line power play or something. But look at that top line. +5 chemistry. Agostino, Michkov, and Matthews is going to be nasty. Defensively, Bilesma and Makar have a +5 chemistry, so that's really good. Hopefully Makar wants some way less money this offseason. Sasaki and Burkov, Hordachuk and Jankimovs. Not bad. Ooh, or we could go to like that. Hordachuk's a defensive defenseman, and Burkov is a 2-way. It'd probably be better to get Burkov into the top 4 for now. And then Galiev and... Wait, Korea outgrew Galiev? What? Might be just statistical right now. That's kind of surprising. Do you have any depth defensemen in the AHL, or do I have to sign one? You know what? Just for this, we are going to call up Ariel Ortmeyer as our depth defenseman, because that guy has X factors. He's never gotten a chance to play in the NHL. This is the year for him to get an opportunity to play as a depth defenseman for us, and hopefully he does pretty well. I know he's done that really well at the AHL level, but I think I decided that he needs to have a chance. And we have really bad chemistry in the AHL, which is unfortunate, so I'm going to have to readjust this a little bit. What's a way to get this to be better? What if we do multiple player changes? Damn. Yeah, we're not going to have good chemistry on that 2nd line, but that's okay. And goalie-wise down there, they signed us this 77 goalie. I don't know why. Interesting. So yeah, our team looks pretty damn good. Let's just make sure the power play is set up perfectly. So we'll put Matthews there instead. We'll move Michkov obviously to the point. And I will also put, who was it? I'll also put Kagerodov on the top line power play just because of his ice time. And then Shelly's going to be on the point on the 2nd unit. Just because Shelly needs to play on the power play. Because or else he's not going to score as much. And actually, yeah, he will be on the point. Yeah, that's fine. And then we'll just change this up around a bit. That's good. We will once again change this up as well. Matthews to there. Geeky could play there. Kagerodov could play on the point. And then Bentley, actually Michkov needs to play on the point. Kagerodov will play here. And then we'll move, let's take McIntyre out again, put in Shelly. And then we'll throw a defenseman on there like Burkov since he's a 2-way. There we go. Penalty kill, we'll leave it the same. Doesn't really matter too much at the moment, except for this has minus. Kale McCarr doesn't fit the penalty kill. So we'll put a defensive defenseman, maybe, wait. Who we got? Sasaki, Bilesman, Hordachuk. Who else is defensively minded? Let's give Jakimov some more ice time. Maybe not. Or is he a better fit than McCarr? No, it's the same thing. And we'll just leave it for now. It doesn't matter. But yeah, our team looks pretty damn good, I'd say. If this holds up. So there is that. And yeah, now that we're using Ariel Ortmeyer as a depth defenseman, he'll get an actual chance to play. He's 29 years of age, but he's played a very long time in the AHL with some really good seasons. So that's why I'm giving him the opportunity to play. He also has some good offensive awareness and stuff. So we'll see if he actually gets into the lineup this year as a depth defenseman. So there is that. Okay, so now that that is set up and ready to go, let's simulate some of the season and just see how this team does. I don't know how much I'm going to simulate, maybe to January the 1st, or maybe we'll do the first 42 games or 41 games like we normally do, just because I'd like to get a good chunk of the season done. In the next episode, you guys could suggest any trades if this team isn't performing that well, and yeah, then we'll simulate the rest of the season and whatnot. But yeah, this team should do pretty well with the addition of Austin Matthews especially. And then, like I said, Cale McCarr is just like a little bit of an upgrade from Jacob Chicker on the back end. Matthews had 14 points in 7 games in the preseason, so hope that is the case for the regular season. Quickly, one thing I wanted to check was where Jacob Chicker signed, because I am curious on that front. But yeah, I think it made sense that trade for Makar to get rid of Redmond because of the amount of right wingers we had, and then also Tukinen just got replaced by Makar. So Chychrun signed with the Kraken on a 1-year deal, over $6 million, which is kind of an overpayment, I'd say, but good for him to go to Seattle, play with a young franchise. I don't know where the heck they are in terms of contending for a Stanley Cup, because I know they went to the conference finals 1 year when we went to the Stanley Cup, right? But I haven't seen them there in a while. But yeah, let's see how this team does with some new additions. I think we should do pretty solid, especially offensively. But we're losing a couple games early on in the season, but we'll probably eventually just bounce back all of a sudden because this team is too good to not be this good. And wow, that's not a great way to start off the season. Mild concussion to Agostino till November the 1st. That is very unfortunate. That's not great at all. And he's back already. So we will take out Mr. Adamo and put in Agostino. But yeah, this team should do good. Like, yeah, we have literally an 84 on the third line. Come on. 4 and 5 to start, not the greatest, but once again, like I said, we'll probably all of a sudden just find ourselves 1 month. Because this team, if they miss the playoffs, I will be really shocked. Because this team should not miss the playoffs. But right now, we're just like hovering between 500, which is kind of weird. I don't know if it's the coach. Do we need a new coach? Wow, 4 straight losses? Are you kidding me, guys? 9 and 12 on the season. We're the worst team in our division. And how is Bentley leading the team in points? That never happens. Let me take a look at the coach and see if he actually fits our team that well, because maybe we need a new coach. I don't know. 70%. No, that's fine. That's a really weird start to the year. But we'll probably all of a sudden like find ourselves, because I don't think this team should be this bad. Like, we're 9 and 12 on the season, but we're like literally probably one of the deepest rosters I've had in years. But 9 and 12, that means we've played 21 games, which means we got another 21 to simulate through. So let's go all the way to here to the 1st. See how we do in this month. See if we could start racking in those wins like we should be doing. There's one. There's a point, though. Yeah, there you go. Now we're starting to get some points. And, of course, after I say that, we lost. Why is this team really playing so inconsistently? Gage Penner is available, but he was never injured. Let me actually take a look at how Penner's doing, because maybe we want to change up the 4th line. 8 points, even 0. That's not bad for a 4th liner. Let's just keep it. And I can't see what's happening. Michkov has now been injured with a pulled groin. At least it's not long term. And now Hordachuk's been injured. Are you kidding me, guys? Why are we getting bombarded with injuries? That means Ortmeyer's getting a chance to play, which I'm very excited to see what he could do. 19, 15, and 1. Okay, so after we could not see because of the injuries, we went on 6 wins in our last 7 games. So that's pretty good. That's 34 games so far. Let's advance another 8. No, not 8 games. 7 games. We should have those guys return from injury soon as well. So yeah, we'll go to the 14th, and then that will be the halfway point of the season. And we can see how this team has been doing so far, which should be pretty good, even though we did start off the season a little bit sluggish. Hordachuk should be back in a few days. Yep, there he is. It's good. But yeah, hopefully everybody on this team is happy in terms of like morale and whatnot. There's Ortmeyer. How was he doing? 1 goal in 2 games. Not bad. Obviously, he didn't get a lot of ice time, but I will definitely take that. Because even though he's a 75, he's still not that bad of a player. There's another win. There's a loss. There's a win. Another win, 11-2. And another win, another loss. 23, 17, and 1. Not necessarily the best start to a year, but still pretty decent. That's exactly halfway through the season. And yeah, the Avalanche are first in the Central, which is kind of weird considering they just traded us Cale Makar, and we gave them Tukinen and Redmond. So who knows how good those guys are doing. Colorado actually might be, yeah, Colorado's the 2nd best team in the league, only behind the Buffalo Sabres, who are absolutely insane, 35, 8, and 1. But who knows, maybe if we stay around 500-ish, we'll be actually a good team when it comes to the playoffs. So that's actually not that bad. Okay, let's take a look at our team stats so far for the season, so you guys could let me know any suggestions for upgrades and all that type of thing. Let's go entire league. Right now, wise in the entire NHL, we are 10th best. And in terms of goals for per game, we are the second best offensive team, so that's really good. Only behind the Buffalo Sabres, which is not a surprise considering they already have 71 points this season. Goals against per game wise, wait, where did I see us? How much did we allow? I didn't even see where we were. Let me just go back to this for a second. 3.32, okay. Okay, so we're not very good defensively. It could be because we're running two lower end goalies, but maybe once it comes to playoff team, they'll be lights out, so I don't really care too much about that. Power play percentage looks like it's pretty solid. Yeah, our power play is pretty good, 19.8%. And then our penalty kill is tragic. One of the worst in the NHL at 77.3, so we need to address maybe that penalty kill. No shorthanded goals, 9 and 12 on home ice. 14, 5 and 1 on the road, though. Interesting. So there is that. Let's take a quick look at our player stats so far for the season, and then that'll be probably almost it. I could look at the trading block actually too, so you guys can get an upgrade with that. Matthews has 42 points in his first 41 games here. He's dropping off in overall, which sucks, but still really good start to his time with us. I don't know how long he's going to be with us for. Bentley's point per game as well, 41 points in 41 games, which is really impressive. Geeky's got 38 points, so very good stats from these top three centers. And then Penner on the fourth line has 11 points, which is not too bad. Damo, 3 assists in 4 games as a depth option, but he was put on the top line, so not bad. Left wing wise, Agostino's off to another really good start to the season, 47 points in 40 games because he missed one due to injury. But he's on pace to have not as good of a season as these 100-point seasons, but he's still going to have another really good year, it looks like, with this club. Shishkinov, 46 points is also really good. He's probably playing for a contract because of the fact his contract comes to an end this year. So, but it's still really good season so far from him. McIntyre, 24 points is pretty good, plus 15. McGill's 13 points on that fourth line is also pretty solid. And then right wing wise, Michkov, 42 points in 38 games, kind of slowing down a bit it looks like, but his injury might be the problem. He might not hit 100 points this year, which would be the first time he did not hit 100 points with us, but he could have a good second half of the season. Kagrodov's doing pretty good, 38 points. Shelley's doing really well as well, 32 points, 21 goals in 41 games. Like, his contract comes to an end as well this season, so hoping that a lot of these guys were able to bring back in the offseason. 14 points for Ustorf, not too bad. And then defensively, Makar's been helping us out offensively from the back end, 24 points. Sasaki's got 12 points. Not bad. Burkov, 9 points. Bilesma, 6. Jakomov's has 5 and a plus 20, so not bad from the guy that's basically replacing Tukkanen. And then Hordichuk, 4 points, plus 19. And Ortmeyer, 1 goal in 2 games and a plus 2. Not bad. Goalie-wise, yeah, this is where we're not doing too well. Galiev is doing pretty solid goals against-wise, but his save percentage isn't that good. And then Korea's getting more starts because for some reason he's just getting more starts, but both of them are 80 overall, so it's good to see there's a little bit of internal competition between the two of them. So that is that. Let me take a quick look at the AHL just to see if there's anybody that's getting really good development. Appleby could be in the NHL at some point soon. Bykov as well. Yoshi Mura's already ready. He's a 79 low elite. God damn. This guy developed really quickly. So yeah, Yoshimura might get a chance to get called up if we wanted to trade away somebody on our roster, but I don't think we really need to. But still, Yoshimura is definitely going to be an NHL player at least by next season, or at the most by next season. Any really badly minus players on our team? Not really. That's good. Pretty solid start to the year, I'd say, especially on the offensive side of things. Final thing, let's take a quick look at the trading block just because I know this episode is approaching like around 30 minutes. So let's just see what's out there in case you guys want me to make any trades. But for now, I don't think we really need to. I know our defense and stuff like that hasn't been the best, but sometimes that corrects itself in the playoffs. And then as long as our offense keeps doing what it's been doing, it should be able to win games. Mikko Rantanen's on the block, but we don't have really any cap space. Like, if we're going to trade for somebody, we have to free up cap, which means we have to trade away somebody that's making a good chunk of change. And the only guy I could think of is Shelley, because he's making $7 million, but he's been pretty good this year. So there's probably not really much we can do for moves unless we bring in somebody on like in a contract to like 1-1-1-5 like this. I don't even know if we could afford Will Khalid. But if we could afford somebody on like a two-way deal, we could always do that. But I don't think we could afford anybody that's going to be on like a one-way deal, really, just because we have under $1 million in cap space. So this might be the team we have to run with for the rest of the season, which I'm okay with, I think. And just because of that offensive skill our team has had so far. Because, like I said, we're the second best offensive team, only behind Buffalo. So, Kyle Kernkovic. Remember when we had him and he didn't do well? Josh Norris is there as well. Wow. We had him as well for a bit. Adams, what is your name? Benjamin Adams. Sounds like a friggin' president of the United States. I don't know. There you go. San Jose. A lot of just prospects on the block too, so it's not like it matters that we need to trade for any of these guys, but I'm just really hoping that we could get that third cup in like a 5-year span, because if we could do that, that would be the first time I've ever done that. So Levy, Lawrence, some good players on the block in some teams, but like I said, the only way we get one of those players is if we trade away somebody that's making a decent chunk of money. Victor Soderstrom, damn. So yeah, that's what the trading block looks like. And final thing, just even though we're in the middle of the season, I just want to show you guys the guys that are up for renewal this upcoming season. Just because, yeah, we have a lot of big names up for renewal. A lot of them are all UFAs. There's Austin Matthews, Shelley, McCarr, Bentley, Shishkinov, McGillis, and Penner. And then you get into the RFAs like Burkov, Hordichuk, Spaulding, Appleby, and goalie-wise, Galiev. Which, wait now, Galiev does not want a whole lot, so I'm already going to give him his contract extension because he needs to stay with this team. So, there is that. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll simulate the rest of the season. We might make trades if you guys think we can. But otherwise, I think this team is going to do pretty good, and it's going to be interesting to see if this team could go on and win another Stanley Cup this season. So you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.